How's it going, guys? So today I'm going to bring you all through what we have started to see as our new membership pack. So with all of our new memberships in Sutton this year, what we're trying to do as a club is give back to you guys and supply you with a few mini bits of kit that you can work away at home and help provide, say, your players or say your sons and daughters who are playing down in the club with some equipment that they can work away with in case of no training. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to walk through the pack and have a look at everything that's there, and after that I'll go through some simple exercises on how to use, say, the different things that are in the pack, because I know over the last couple of weeks there's been a few questions on how to actually use what we're giving you. So first off, what each pack is going to have is like a little balaclava in each. So obviously with the current situation around COVID, it's important that the kids feel comfortable when they're down at training. So this simple balaclava is something much more comfortable than a mask to wear while we're training. Okay, so as you see, very basic, chuck over the head, over the neck, and they can pull it over their mouth and nose while they train, and then therefore they may feel a little bit more comfortable, as well as actually being able to breathe and able to actually train properly, because from personal experience I know the masks can be quite uncomfortable and quite restricting. Secondly, what we have is our half ball. So our half ball has been seen in multiple videos that we've done so far, especially with our passing, and it's brilliant for our new wall outside. So there's plenty of targets out there. Kids can come down, hit the targets by themselves. Coaches can use the half balls if they want their players to be one-on-one with the wall. And also at home, it gives a good opportunity for players to work at their own skills by themselves. So definitely one of the essential parts of our pack is the half ball. And then we have, say, our four more areas that are a little bit more kind of technical. So these little plates that we have here are nice, they're called sliders. So what we use these for is, say, if our players have some sort of injuries within the shoulder, or are trying to do, say, some core exercises, you can use them in numerous of different ways, whether it's rehab or strength and conditioning, and I will demonstrate how to use these in a couple of minutes. Next is one of our selection of bands that were in the pack. This red restriction band is again used for strength, conditioning and rehab. Along with the red restricting band, we also have multiple bands that are in the pack. Okay, so these bands now, they go from extra light to extra heavy. Okay, so they present different levels of restriction so that you can work your way up. So whether you're a young player with the pack to, as you grow older, get stronger, you can increase how restricting the bands are. And again, I will demonstrate a couple of exercises that you can use. And finally is our little reaction ball. Okay, so as you can see, it is very, very different kind of grooves and bumps on it, so that there's different ways to kind of react to it. So whether it's bouncing it off the wall, bouncing it off the ground and stuff. So they're all what's on offer in the bag. Okay, and lastly is actually the bag. So this is kind of a uniform now for our Sutton players. So what we want to see now is we're coming down on a Sunday, we want to see these packs everywhere of kids with their boots in it, with their gear bags. So now your players or your kids have no excuse for just getting boots or gum shields or water bottles or anything, because they're all in this pack. And every pack is an own individual's pack, so therefore when it comes to COVID and keeping everything separate, keep it all in your pack, and it's all perfectly good.
Okay, something in the membership packs is obviously we have the half ball. Alright, we've all seen them. Okay, how we get better for me is by actually just doing and trying to get as many reps in as we can. Alright, so a case of using the wall that we have either up here or down there is just set your kids out in a line and just get them sort of half jogging and just figuring out, alright, that release. Okay, so that catching at 3, releasing at 9, and see how many actual passes they can get in such a short space of time. Okay, so generally as a rule of thumb, when we're younger, alright, our coaching session should be trying to get as many touches on the ball as possible. All right, so the more we can do that in training, all right, the better they'll become at passing, trying to get that sort of mastering a skill of 10,000 plus hours or whatever it might be, to actually put them in a situation where they're going to get 20, 30 passes in a minute or in a short space of time. All right, so use the walls that we have around, using the half balls. Okay, so we're not relying on another player. Again, letting the kid work up and down the line, all right, at his own pace, and just getting used to that pass that we talked about, either the really beginning of the green stage. Okay, again, doesn't really matter what side you hit off the ball, or we can react and catch it. Okay, but just keep thinking how many times we can actually get the ball in and out of our hands. All right, the more we do, the better we get.
Right guys, so first one we're going to use a pack of the sliders, okay? So sliders are looking to help you improve your range of mobility and maybe to help with some rehab and stuff, okay? So on the sliders you've got pink side, black side. Pink side goes on the base, black side always facing up. So the first thing you're going to go through is the lunge, okay? Lunge is perfectly good exercise for this. So you're getting the ball of your foot and your toes onto the black side, okay? So then the rest of your foot up off the ground. And what you're just going to do is simply just let it slide out and bend that leg until it gets to a 90, okay? And that's at 90, slide back in. Same for going backwards, so you're just going to let that slide out, let this front leg keep bending until it gets to 90. When it gets to 90, back up, okay? Same on the other side, slide it out, bend this leg, both legs, but when this front one gets to this 90 degrees, you're pulling it back up. Same again for going back, slide out, bend, all the way to 90, and back up. Okay, simple one. Now looking at our groin, we can go to the side, so a side lunge. Okay, so same again, ball of the foot and the toe on the black spot, and you're just going to let it slide out to the side. Sink back, bend this standing leg to a 90 degree, and sit back into your side lunge. Okay, so this is looking at groin mobility, so I'm bending here, sitting back, feel a good stretch, and back up. Okay, do it on the other side, slide to the side, sit back. I've got a good stretch in my groin, I'm on a 90 degree bend here, and I'm sliding back up, okay? So that's very simple stuff from a standing point of view. Then we get down on our back, and we can look at working on the hamstrings, okay? So simple one for the hamstrings is you're just going to raise your bum and your hips up off the ground, and you're just going to slide your legs out and back in again, okay? So it's hamstring walkouts is what we'll be known as. But in this case, obviously, we're sliding out, so we'll go hamstring slide outs. And you're just working on a bit of hamstring strength, okay? So I'm going to lie back. I've got my hips up off the ground. Just going to slide out and back in. Slide out and back in. So when you slide out, you'll notice that your heels like hit off the ground. So when you get to that stage, you've gone far enough, pull it back in. What you can also do is drop one, plant this foot in underneath the bum, hips up off the ground again, and just slide that one out and back in. Okay? That's a lot easier because you've got a good base off that standing leg. Okay? You can do that on both sides. Alright, so that's our legs. Look pretty good. There's some simple exercise for our legs, but we can also bring it into our shoulder mobility, okay? So a lot of rugby players, as we get older, will start to suffer a bit with our shoulders. So it's good to keep that mobility and that movement in our shoulders. So a simple exercise is to lock out the arms, okay? So I'm on my heels, as you can see here. So I'm on the toes and I'm sitting on my heels. And lock out the arms. And all you're just going to do is just going to slide out on one side. Until you really feel that stretch and pull back in. Slide out to the other side, feel that stretch. So from side on, this is where you want to be hitting. So I'm locked out, I'm sliding out, and I'm feeling it here. Okay, there it is, and you're really stretching the shoulder. Okay? Same again on the far side. Simple as. Last one that I'll show is more to do with a bit of core strength and bring it into your like push-ups. Okay, so you're working on a bit of your core. So simple as you kind of shoulder width apart into the push-up position. And what you can do is press up and slide. Try to keep those hips nice and square, don't let them bend on the slide. Down, up, and slide. Okay? So when I'm sliding, I'm not doing this. I'm down, I'm keeping rigid, and I'm sliding it. Okay? So, great little tool, one of many in the pack. And now let's move on to the bands and see what we can do with them. Welcome back. Right, now we're looking at our resistance band, okay? So with these ones, there's hundreds upon hundreds of things you can do with it, okay? So if you go onto YouTube and you stick in exercise with a resistance band, you will get a ton of different people doing different exercises. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go briefly from toe to head with a few different exercises that we can do, and then a few exercises that we could do to make it relevant to our passing game, okay? So what we'll do first is I'm going to look at, say, our calves, okay? So we start with our calves. So with the calves, you're getting down onto the bone. All right, you can sit with your back to something if just for pure comfort, doesn't make much of a difference. And what you're doing is you're taking the resistance band and you're putting it just across the base of your toes, kind of on that ball of your foot, okay? You're just going to pull it back to you, and all I'm going to do is point my toes to me and then to the camera, okay? So towards me and then away from me. Towards me and away from me. Okay, to make that a little bit more difficult, we can double wrap it, okay? So we can go 2 over it, make it a little bit more hard, and then towards me and away from me. Towards me and away from me. So that's a little bit more difficult, okay? So you've got double the resistance. Simple exercise for our calves. Working up our leg, we look at our hamstrings. Okay, so a nice little stretch I like to do, say, before training or before games, is I'll lie all the way back on my back, and I'll go bring my hamstring all the way up straight, toe lock, my ankle locked out, toe basically parallel with me on the floor, and then I'm just going to hold that for 10 seconds. Okay. Then an extension onto that is flossing it, okay? So what you'll do is the same thing, toe parallel to me, and then you bring that knee to 90, and then back up. Down to 90, then back up. Down to 90, then back up. Okay, so you'll feel that right in the hamstring. It's a lovely stretch to get kind of your hamstrings warmed up before you start, say, get out of the pitch or something. Okay, so then we can also use it for, say, a bit more strength work, okay? So if we want like really basic strength work, we can do RDLs, okay? So RDLs are working on our hamstring again, so put the band flat across the ground, so we're standing on both sides of it, and grab both ends, okay? So what you're doing is you're pulling it up, okay? You want your feet to be about shoulder width apart for this, okay? So not too close together. Maybe slight 2 degree bend in the knees, not too much. Pop the bum out, hinge at the hips, and just drop down. Okay? And back up. Okay? So keep your shoulders back and your chest out, and drop down. Okay? So your slight bend, bum out, shoulders back, and then hinge from the hips. And down. Okay? There's 3 simple exercises, calf and 2 for your hamstrings. So now we look at a bit more upper body stuff. We can do a lot of stuff in terms of rows for our back with these bands, okay? Really good for working on simple little exercises to warm up your back before the gym, before you go out and play a game, training, whatever it is. So this first one is going to be same setup. Hopefully Peter doesn't lie behind the camera. Same setup as what we were doing for the RDL, so you're shoulder width apart, and you're just going to have a good bend in the knees, okay? Hinge from the hips again, and what we're going to do is you're just going to pull to the chest, okay? So down, chest out, shoulders back, and pull to the chest again. So from the side, this is what we're looking for, okay? So you're coming up, and you're going to pull. So you've got a bit, see the way I have a bit more of a bend in my knees. I'm hinged from the hips. My chest is out, my shoulders are back, and I'm pulling getting right up to my chest, okay? All the way up, okay? So there's one of many different rows that you can do with the resistance bands. Other ones are, say, up, you're standing straight up, okay? So simple again, you can, say, grab half the band, and you're just going to pull up, okay? There's for the arms. There's loads and loads of stuff that you can do, okay? Another one that I like to do before I get into the gym is you just kind of grab whatever is comfortable for you. So the stronger you get, the more of the center of the band you can grab. Your arms locked out in front of you, and you just drive to a straight line across the chest, okay? There's another one. Anyway, loads and loads of stuff that you can do in terms of mobility, warm-ups, bit of strength training, loads of stuff you can do. What I want to look at now is just simple exercise that you can use to help, like, kind of put more power behind your passes, okay? So we've done a lot of work on passing in the previous videos to come, or previous videos, depending on whereabouts you are at in our tutorials. But what we can do is we find a nice stable hold, okay, that we can lock the band around. Okay? So these, what you've got, so kind of your feet, a bit more than shoulder width apart. And what you're looking to do is that driving motion that we learn when we're passing, okay? So I have my band here, it's starting at my hips, and what I want to do, ideally, is to drive up and across, okay? So when we're passing, we're taking and we're driving across, same motion, okay? We want to drive, we're going slightly higher up because the band's below our feet, okay? So we start in our hip, and all you got to do is just drive up, okay? Simple exercise, just working on that motion of driving across, okay? Straight across and up, okay? Now, this is very far below my feet, so another way you could do it, and to minimize any movement in our legs, like we did, say, in our passing, the way we started on our hips, or sorry, on our knees, we can do the same with the band, okay? So this time, come a bit far away, or further out from, say, the table if I'm using, but if you're using something in the gym, whatever you're using, move out from it. That's the same motion, but you gotta lock that core, okay? So stay rigid, don't use your body to pull it. Just use the arm and the chest. So you're just driving across. So if I'm catching here, and I drive across, okay? See? Up and drive across. Catch, pass. Even if you want to use the movement, catch and pass, okay? So, resistance band. Loads and loads of stuff to do. If they need more than that, if you have different parts of the body that you want to work using a band, look at YouTube. It's all over the place. I could be here for days going through different stuff for the bands. There's some really basic stuff. So start on those and work your way to more advanced stuff. Cheers. What's up, guys? Next one is our glute bands. Okay, so glute bands are used religiously within the first team as part of our warm-up. So a huge thing that people kind of tend not to know about when you're warming up for kind of games and matches and stuff is that activating muscles is just as important as stretching them. Okay, so your glute bands will help activate your glutes, and there's multiple ways you can do it. So starting on the ground is your best way. So each time when you're kind of working on your glute activation, you're looking to get these bands, your two legs in between it, and you're bringing them just above your knees. Okay, so just to the end of your quads. So the first exercise is lie on your side. Okay, so lie on the elbow, kind of slight bend in your knees, say 45 from your knees. And all you do, hand on hip, and you're just going to drive it. Okay? So you're leaving your 2 feet together, and you just drive that knee up. So you should start feeling it in your glute. Okay? Nice and simple, nice and easy. The second one you can do is glute bridges. Okay? So glute bridges is a good one as well. Very basic. Shoulder width apart. Bring your feet shoulder width apart. And you're looking to, sorry, that's probably better for this. You're looking to drive the knees outwards, okay? So that's what's going to give you the most activation of the glutes. Hands on hips, drive up. Squeeze to the top and down. Drive up, squeeze to the top and down. Very simple, very easy. A third one, before you get up onto your feet, is bring the band down to just kind of below your calves, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to lie on your side again, keep your legs straight, bring your toes of your top leg to your heel. And all you're going to do is, with a straight leg, drive that leg up, okay? And down, up and down. This one you'll feel slightly on the side. You're driving up and down, constantly keeping that toe on the heel, okay? Very simple, very easy. Depending on the resistance of your band, that's how you're going to kind of know if it's too easy, too hard. In the pack, you're going from extra light all the way to extra heavy, so you have plenty of variety and then plenty of choice. Okay, so staying in our band, bringing it back up to our knees. We've got different little exercises we can do when we're standing, okay? So, simple one is working the glutes again, kind of in our, kind of slightly bent at the knees. Just bring the knee in and drive out, okay? Bring that knee in and drive out. Try keep those feet firmly planted on the ground. Bring the knee in and drive out. Okay, so doing it on both sides, making sure whatever you do to one side, you do it to the other. And then you can also do both at the same time. Okay, really get those glutes fired up. Right? After that, you can start then bringing in a bit more movement to it. So what we do a lot of with the first here in Sutton is crab walks. Okay, so crab walks are pretty well known. You'll see most of the time when if you do any of this stuff on YouTube, you'll see it. So just so you can see the bands, I'm sure it's a bit long. So you're kind of going into that half squat position, hands up in front, one step in, one step across. Okay, so one at a time, and you're going across. Staying in the half squat position. You should, after a couple, you'll start feeling your glutes starting to burn out. Okay, you can also do it forwards as well, so you're kind of going up and out, okay? And you can go back as well, okay? So there's loads and loads of different things that you can do. You can do stuff lying on the ground, driving the heel back up behind you to really get that glute squeeze to the top. Like donkey kicks is what I would know as best. And so huge advantages of using these to activate glutes before training. And lastly, another kind of couple exercises that you can use for your upper body is, say, hold the end of the band like this, stick it on your hip, and then you're just driving it, okay? Simple things for the shoulder mobility. Another one is tuck the elbow in at a 90 and just drive it. Okay, so this is pretty good stuff for shoulder rehab if you're struggling with that at the moment. Okay, again, do whatever you do to one side, you're doing to the other. Okay, and again, multiple different bands here, so each will be more difficult than the other. And then last one is another one for your shoulder rehab. Tucking the elbows in, driving the hands out beyond the elbows, and just trying to keep the elbows in and the hands out, going up and down. Of course, you only go to what your mobility allows you. You go to about there and back down. Okay, so lots of different stuff again, just like the resistant band that you can do with these things. Again, loads of different people will tell you loads of different things and loads of different exercises. So start with that, then look around, you'll find way more, and keep working on your rehab and stuff. Cheers. Welcome back to our last little item of the bag. Okay, so reaction balls are perfect for basically you can do by yourself, you can work with brothers and sisters, mates, family, doesn't make a difference, okay? You can work all the time with these things, they're like magical, okay? So they're perfect for helping us improve kind of our reaction speeds around the park as well, and when we're training you start to notice that you're reacting to different things and you're more awake and seeing different stimulus around the park as well. So I'm going to demonstrate three different exercises, but then again you can play different games, make up random stuff with mates, family, whatever you want to do, but they're great little things to get involved in more or less anything, okay? So the first one that I'm going to do is a simple one. I'm just going to bend over and I'm going to drop it straight in front of me, okay? I have to go and catch it. Could bounce back to me, if I try 10 times, could bounce back 6 times straight back up, or it can go in all different directions. I don't know which way it's going to bounce because of the grooves in the ball, but we'll give it a try. So I'm going to start with 2 hands. I'm just going to drop and catch with 2, okay? Straight back to me. There we go. There we go. Nice. There you have it. Okay, so you can make it easy for yourself by dropping it on a nice simple batch, which I know is going to kind of bounce back to me. That one didn't. Or you can just drop it random ones that you catch it. Okay? So as you can see, it will go literally anywhere. Okay? Second one is the table. Okay, so I've got a table here beside me. And this can be table, it can be a wall, it can be anything. Don't want to ruin the new paint job that we have in our lovely new clubhouse, so I'm going to use the table. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to bounce it off the table and I've got to react to where it comes, okay? Start nice and simple, 2 hands, okay? There we go. And don't be afraid to go and chase it, okay? Because it's definitely not going to come straight back to you like a tennis. And if it doesn't come back off the first bounce, it's fine. Because it'll come back to, there you go, chase it. Okay? As you can see, it will go anywhere, okay? There we go. I'm not like that. Okay, so you get the idea. Walls are obviously better because you can't go over it. But use a wall, use a brother and sister across the ring to each other, bounce it up down and they have to catch it. If they drop it, 1-0 to you, so on, okay? So the last one is making it a little bit more difficult. So I haven't been too successful at the moment, so we'll see how we get on with this one. But put the outside knee up, just going to bounce it against the table and react and catch. That's the plan. And see how we get on. Right, here we go. There we go. And that one went over again. Okay, so you get the point. You're bouncing it off the table and you're catching it off the wall. Same again. You can double up with buddies. You can go 3 years, 4 years before training on the concrete, bouncing it out, trying to catching it. It's like a bouncy ball, but it can go anywhere basically. Okay. So that's our pack. Okay. Make sure to get involved. Get down. If you don't have one, get one, and get working on your skills. Because it's only going to benefit you. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the pack and enjoy the rest of the tutorials. Cheers.